In this video, we will be going over the user management setup on the Balluff BNI00H4 Ethernet IP network module. Different user roles can be set up on the Balluff BNI00H4 module. This is divided into three role types: admin, expert, and user roles. In the admin role, new users can be added, deleted, or temporarily disabled. The admin role can also read and write to I/O link device parameters. The user in the expert role will have the ability to read and write to I/O link device parameters as well, but do not have the ability of adding new users or deleting existing users. A user in the user role can only read I/O link device parameters and cannot write to or change any parameters. The user role is a view-only mode for the I/O link device as well as the network block. Next, we'll open up a web browser into our network BNI00H4 module. Here, we're already logged in under the admin role. First, by clicking on the settings icon in the upper right hand corner, and then going under the general tab, there is security configuration that can also be set up. In the security configuration screen, there is a soft session timeout value that you can set for the amount of time the users will have before automatically being logged out without activity. This time is in seconds. Below it is a hard session timeout. A hard session timeout will automatically log out a user even when there's activity on the page. Below that is a minimum password length. This is the minimum password length that's required for each user, and the number of characters is defined here. By default, it's 16 characters in length. Last, on the bottom is a slider bar that is used to turn on or off REST API security. When the bar is on the on position, in order to send REST API commands to the Balluff BNI00H4 module, there needs to be user and password authentication. If the slider bar is off, that means that there's a security risk and that no password or username is required. For any changes into anything on the screen, you would select the Save button, and that would save the settings onto the BNI module. Next, in order to go into the user management database of the module, go select the upper right hand corner of the icon and select User Management. Inside the user management allows new users to be created, as well as showing the list of all active users. In this example user management database, a role of an admin, an expert, and a user have already been created as an example. To add to existing database, select the Add New button on the bottom. This will create a prompt that will ask to create a new user. Provide a user name along with a password. Under the information icon in the red, if you select on it, it will tell you the password validation and what's required. So in order to create a secure password, the password needs to have a minimum of 16 characters with a maximum of 64 characters. Those characters must contain one uppercase, one lowercase, one digit, and one special character. Once the password you created contains all of these requirements, then it will turn green. You must also confirm that same password. Once the passwords match, you could select a role for that new account. Once that's selected, you can hit the Save button. The name and email fields are optional. Now a new user has been created for this database. To go and modify any of that user details, you can select the pencil icon, and that allows you to add in or provide email as well as change the role of that particular user. You could also deactivate the user by selecting the slider icon, and that will temporarily disable the user, but still leave that user in the user management of the BNI module. If a password change is required for that user, select the circle icon with the lock. This will allow you to change the password for that particular user. You would first have to put in the administrator password that you used to log on to the Balluff block. Then you can put in the new password as well as repeat that password and then hit the save, and that would change the password for this particular user. Next, having an admin role or an expert role, if we were to go into the main module of the I/O Link device and look at its parameters, this allows us to go into the parameter session of the I/O Link device, go in and read the data property as well as write to the properties. So here, if we wanted to change the process data profile into something else, we can select write, and it would write successfully to change that profile. But if we were to log out and then log in under a user role, we would only have read access for that device. So here, if we click on the I/O Link device as a user role, we can go into the parameters and we can see now that we only have read access and we no longer have the write access. The same as the settings session of the module. We can't go into the security configuration as those values are grayed out.